You are looking at a 16th century cathedral, a monument that philosopher Roland Barthes once compared to the car. He said both were the supreme creation of their time. No invention has captured the spirit, the freedom, the mobility of the 20th century like the car. And no place in the world has ever been more in love with the car than Los Angeles. Sure, every city has car lovers, but if one city has come to be known for its car lifestyle, it's LA. And if one city has come to be known for its car pollution, it's also LA. Los Angeles became famous back in the 1970s as the smog capital of the world.
The famous Los Angeles skyline is buried somewhere underneath this layer of pollution. The Air Quality Management District predicted that smog would reach second stage levels today for the third day in a row. Now, if a third stage alert should become imminent, then all government, business, and industry would be shut down, and the 7.5 million people living in greater Los Angeles would be asked to stay at home. Will that ever come to pass? It's hard to say. We'll have to wait and watch through dry, red, irritated eyes. For News at 10, Tony Valdez.
Air pollution can cause our eyes to get red. But how exactly does it harm the Earth's atmosphere?
There are the gases like smog pollution and carbon monoxide that make you sick when you just breathe the gases. And then there's the carbon dioxide which comes out of the tailpipe, which makes the whole planet sick by changing the atmosphere.
When a car burns gas, hydrocarbons and nitrous oxides come out of the tailpipe and combine with sunlight to form smog. But there is another type of pollutant that we can't see, which is just as dangerous: carbon dioxide. It harms the ozone layer, which protects the Earth from dangerous radiation. This is called the greenhouse effect, which many scientists believe causes a phenomenon we've all heard about: global warming.
I know what's wrong with your truck. It's your quote-unquote pollution controls. I heard on talk radio you don't even need them. They're just an egghead government plot.
How is cutting down on pollution a government plot, Dale?
Open up your eyes, man. They're trying to control global warming. Get it? Global.
So what?
That's code for UN commissars telling Americans what temperature it's going to be in our outdoors. I say let the world warm up.
Cars around the world do play a major role in global warming, and global warming is harming the planet. But there was a time, not so long ago, when everything about the car seemed great. That time was the 1950s, a time when millions of young people began to use the car for fun and frolic, to rebel and to break rules. The car you drove made a statement about you. It gave others a sense of who you were. Fitted with chrome and fins, cars were designed with the young in mind. But they were really meant to appeal to a much larger group of adults who had the money to buy cars: the American family. It was said that the American dream was to have a job, a house, 2.4 kids, and a car. The bigger, the better.
Our abundance is big and comes from bigness. The bigness of our busy business. The bigness of our fields. The bigness of our fast-moving, modern America.
Back then, modern meant better and special and new, like TV dinners. It was a new way of life, filled with a love of gadgets and convenience.
Come on, kids, let's load up.
Just fold down the seat and presto, plenty of room for everything and everybody.
Pick out the newest new car in America, the new Motoramic Chevrolet. With a whole new design and bodies by Fisher, here's a revolutionary new ride and new power with the new Chevrolet Turbo Fire V8 engine and two new Blue Flame 6s. Here's new 4-fender visibility with Chevrolet's big new sweep side windshield. Underneath, there's a completely new chassis featuring wonderful new glide ride front suspension and new anti-dive braking control. To experience a whole new concept of
New. That's what car companies felt people liked. And they were right. Because people bought new cars in the tens of millions.
I want a Corvette.
I thought you would.
Ooh, I want a Pontiac too.
Okay, we'll have the usual 2-car garage. Let's go all out and buy a Cadillac too.
I can hardly wait for this dream to come true.
It did seem like a dream. Cars made life easier, and they created a whole new kind of business, the drive-in. Drive-in theaters, drive-in banks, drive-in churches, drive-in restaurants. The more popular cars became, the more they crowded the roads. So the federal government began to build a massive national highway system to ease up traffic and allow people to go where they needed to go. The more cars took to the roads of America, the more effect they began to have on our air, although almost nobody was aware of it. Pollution was affecting every city in America, and the most affected was Los Angeles. In about 20 years, Los Angeles had gone from this to this.
I can recall as being a student on USC's campus in 1955. The air pollution was so thick you could almost cut it with a knife.
I can remember taking a bus from Beverly Hills to downtown Los Angeles, and there was a spot where you came to near to what is now MacArthur Park, and you go up a little rise, and then you start down Wilshire Boulevard into downtown Los Angeles. And I remember looking out the bus window and saying, "Oh my, there's the smog."
With the sunshine of Los Angeles making its atmosphere the most ozone-laden in the world, one solution offered by the scientists was to find out which materials reacted with the sun to form ozone and to filter them out before they reached the open air. Motorcycle police tried masks, while the city launched its biggest, most desperate smog investigation.
Los Angeles smog has always intrigued the amateur inventor. One of the first suggestions, and it is constantly being repeated, is that giant fans be mounted on the rim of the basin, fans that would blow the pollution away. Unfortunately, there isn't enough electrical energy in the world to propel those fans, and if there were, the concentrated smog that they would push out would kill every living thing in its path.
Pollution was dangerous, and although Los Angeles was a prime example of it, it was happening in every city in the United States and around the world.
This was London at the peak of last December's killer smog. Torches were needed in midday to guide ambulances to the homes of the stricken. The official figures say 102 died, thousands became ill, hundreds of thousands choked, sputtered, and wheezed.
British Reserve is somewhat strained by an odd apparition on the streets of London.
While some people tried their best to live with air pollution,
It's a smog mask.
others were becoming convinced that it had to be reduced.
Here we are. You should be able to see the mountains. You should be able to see our beautiful city, but you can't see anything. And it's destroying not only our health, but our economy. From 50 to 70% of the junk that's in the air comes from our own cars, mine and yours. We've got to tune up those engines. We've got to have them inspected. If all of our cars were operating efficiently, we would have a significant reduction in all of this pollution and junk that's in the air. That's what we need to do.